There has been a steady increase in interest in international sports, particularly football clubs, by Middle Eastern countries. With what seems like unlimited funds, this is completely changing the sporting landscape, and many say it's not for the better. Today, we will talk about the effects this is having on sports as these individuals and, in some cases, countries amass some of the largest clubs and players in the world. The biggest sport in the world has seen a shift in how players and clubs are being bought and sold, and how even tournaments are being awarded through money and influence. Back in December 2010, international football was stunned when Qatar, a country that at the time had a population of fewer than 2 million people and had never qualified for a World Cup, won the right to host the most-watched tournament in the world, the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Their bid, led by members of the Qatari royal family, beat out bids from Australia, Japan, South Korea, and the USA. Questions and accusations swirled about how this could have happened, and what would follow was confirmation and later indictments that representatives of Qatar had bribed FIFA officials. Along with concerns about human rights and how the stadiums and tournament came to be, there was outrage that it would still take place in Qatar as if nothing had happened. Club football has been of particular interest to Middle Eastern investors. Less than a year after Qatar was given the right to host the 2022 FIFA World Cup, Qatar Sports Investments (QSI) acquired Paris Saint-Germain FC (PSG), one of the top football clubs in France's Ligue 1, and by 2012, the club was 100% owned by Qatari investors. PSG's president, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, a Qatari businessman and chairman of QSI, has an estimated net worth of around 8 billion euros. Over the years, accusations and charges have been brought forward against the club and its leaders, including allegedly breaking UEFA financial fair play rules and money laundering. PSG changed the transfer market with their purchases of Neymar in 2017 for 222 million euros and Kylian Mbappe a year later for 180 million euros. Since then, players have been sold for ridiculous amounts, which are unattainable for most clubs without access to what seems like endless money. In 2008, Manchester City became the property of Sheikh Mansour, an Emirati royal and politician who is the current Vice President and Deputy Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates. He has an estimated individual net worth of 17 billion euros and an estimated family net worth of 1 trillion euros. The club was purchased for a reported 210 million pounds. For someone who owns a football club in England's Premier League, you'd think they would be attending matches. Yet Sheikh Mansour has only attended 2 matches since acquiring the club in 2008. That's 2 matches in 15 years. UEFA investigated Manchester City for charges related to the club's revenue and operating costs, and for not fully disclosing how much their manager was paid. Then, in 2020, the club was actually banned from European competition for 2 seasons and fined 30 million euros. The ban was overturned, mainly due to the Court of Arbitration for Sport finding that the alleged incidents occurred too long ago for UEFA to do anything about them. The club was still fined, though it was reduced to 10 million euros. What is 10 million to someone worth 17 billion? In 2023, the Premier League charged Manchester City with breaking financial fair play rules over 100 times from 2009 to 2018. During this period, they won the Premier League 3 times. This case is still ongoing, and other Premier League clubs feel that it is being dragged out. In the meantime, Manchester City continues to be able to play in all competitions and win trophies with such charges hanging over them. Another example of Middle Eastern countries disrupting sports is Premier League side Newcastle United. In 2021, Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, PIF, PCP Capital Partners, and RB Sports and Media acquired the club for a reported $408 million. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who has a net worth of $18 billion and whose family is estimated to have a net worth of around $1.4 trillion, is the chairman of PIF. There was an uproar in England and throughout the football world over the sale, and investigations followed, which revealed that UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson's government encouraged the Premier League to approve the controversial Saudi Arabia-backed takeover. Perhaps this had to do with the apparent warning Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince gave the UK government that the Premier League's decision would impact diplomatic relations between the two nations. Aside from the footballing concerns, there was concerns about Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince owning a football club, given a US report stating he approved of the assassination of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018. Human rights groups have accused the Saudi Arabian government of using football, golf, and motor racing for sports washing. And the purchase of football clubs by Middle Eastern countries shows no signs of slowing down, with the Glazer family in the final stages of selling Premier League club Manchester United to Sheikh Jassim for a reported £6 billion, if not more. Sheikh Jassim is a member of the Qatari royal family and the chairman of Qatari Islamic Bank, QIB, the largest bank in Qatar. His estimated net worth is said to be 1.2 billion euros, and his family is estimated at 321 billion euros. It's not only countries buying up football clubs, it's also countries buying football players. In 2023, Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest football players ever, joined Saudi Pro League side Al Nassr FC for an estimated 200 million euros for 2.5 seasons. And just recently, Karim Benzema decided to leave Real Madrid and sign with Al Ittihad club, where he will earn a reported 100 million euros per season. Both players were offered bonuses in addition to their sky-high wages, which include being ambassadors for the 2030 FIFA World Cup, which Saudi Arabia is bidding to host. Al Hilal SC apparently offered Lionel Messi somewhere between 500 million and a staggering 1.5 billion euros to join their club, which he turned down to go play for MLS side Inter Miami instead. Messi said that had his decision been based solely on money, he would have gone to Saudi Arabia, so maybe there's some hope that not all football players will take these crazy amounts of cash. We'll have to wait and see. A couple of years ago, there were whispers in the golf world that Saudi Arabia was going to start its own golf league to rival the PGA Tour. In 2022, Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, PIF, valued at reportedly $620 billion, and the same fund that owns Newcastle United, announced a new golf league, LIV Golf. It turned golf on its head. One by one, LIV Golf went after golf's biggest names and offered them millions, even offering some players hundreds of millions of dollars to come and join them. Some big names turned them down, including the biggest of them all, Tiger Woods, who was reportedly offered $800 million. Even Rory McIlroy, who was reportedly offered $500 million, declined their offer. There were many players, though, who accepted these enormous sums of money, such as Phil Mickelson, who was paid $200 million plus bonuses, and Dustin Johnson, who was paid $150 million plus bonuses. The PGA Tour canceled the memberships of those players who accepted LIV Golf's offer and banned them from participating in tournaments. A dark cloud hung over the game, causing tension and bad blood among the players, and leading to both the PGA Tour and LIV Golf filing lawsuits against one another. Then in June 2023, in what seemed to come out of nowhere, the PGA Tour made the shocking announcement that they were merging with DP World, the European Tour, and PIF to create a new entity that would combine their assets and radically change golf's governance. The PGA Tour would remain a non-profit organization and would retain full control over how its tournaments are played. Less than a week after the sensational merger, the US Senate opened an investigation into the deal. We will have to stay tuned to see how this story unfolds. Middle Eastern money has also found its way into Formula One. Most recently, Saudi Arabia hosted the inaugural Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in 2021. The 15-year deal with F1 is reportedly worth 105 million euros per Grand Prix and includes sponsorship with state-owned oil company Aramco. This brings the total number of F1 races in the Middle East or Western Asia to 4, with Bahrain, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi already on the circuit schedule, making it the second biggest region for the sport. Human rights groups voiced their concerns when Saudi Arabia was announced as a destination, as did Formula One players, most notably the face of the sport, Lewis Hamilton. In 2023, there was a rumor that PIF, the same fund that owns Newcastle United and has merged with the PGA Tour and DP World, had offered to buy Formula One for $20 billion, which was declined. Which sport do you think will be next to open its doors to Middle Eastern money? Are such investors good for the world of sports? Let us know in the comments.